So, Skrillex, if I could hit you real quick, Sonny, just as a starting point, congratulations on your Grammy nominations. That's an amazing showing. Where were you when you first heard about the nominations?
I was on my tour bus sleeping in my bunk in Bristol in the UK. And like my tour manager, he's got this big beard and like tattoos and stuff. And like I'm sleeping and he opens the bunk and he's like, "Rah!" I'm like, oh my God. I got up in my bunk, like freaked out. He's like, you got a Grammy nomination. And I was so tired. So I was like, cool. And I thought it was a dream. Then I woke up like 3 hours later and he goes, "Rah! You got 5. And like, it was crazy. Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't get to like, I don't even think I've fully reflected on what that means yet.
Yeah.
Right now, but.
I told you not to do anything interesting when we weren't rolling cameras. Now
Exactly.
look at you.
Now it's all out, yeah.
Well, we're all so happy for you, and it's going to be an amazing night on the Grammys. But to go further now with you on this project, talk about how you came on board and why you chose the Doors to collaborate with.
Well, I mean, it was at first it was Richard Bishop, you know, who contacted me and my manager Tim, and you know, presented this whole idea. And then it was actually, obviously, first you guys were involved in Premiere and Pretty Lights, and it was. Yeah. And like, it was a really cool idea, and the whole thing with me was like, in the beginning the Doors thing was up in the air, and I was nervous to like commit to something if I didn't feel like I'd have a real connection with it, and that was like in my heart my real pick, you know, because of course you have a wish list of a certain amount of people because you don't know who's gonna be able to show up or not, and that was the most personal and special thing to me was the Doors, because I grew up listening to, you know, the first recollection of anything musical was the Doors in my life, so it was cool to like come full circle and actually have that a reality. So, you know, that was the main thing.
It's interesting because it really comes through in the film that, I don't know if it's your personality or, you know, just that you have a gift as a producer, but it seemed like it was almost effortless, like you really got on with them right away.
Well, I mean, hopefully, like any collaboration I've ever done has been like, you know, you have to have trust and faith in the person you're collaborating with, because, you know, music is a real intimate thing, and if you're doing it with someone else, then you have to have trust in that other person and or the other artist or group, and hopefully the other artist and group has trust and faith in you, and it's you consult with each other, you know, rather than having someone that's babysitting you or the other way around. I don't want to do a collaboration if I'm telling someone what to do and vice versa, but if you can be vulnerable for a second and sit back and let them do what they do, and then vice versa, those are the most special products in the end of the day. So that's what exactly what happened with.
Well,
me and
you
the
know,
guys.
also you're kind of dealing with all the drama of that band, because I noticed they came on separate days, 2 members of the Doors, and then John Densmore came the next day. And there's an interesting moment in the film where you're very straight up with, I believe it's John Densmore,
Yeah.
and you're like, listen, I don't want to do this if you don't want to do this. You know, you're very honest about the process with him.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't do anything if I don't want to do it, you know, so. And I don't want to do anything with anybody else if they don't want to do it either. And, like, there's a whole documentary behind this and cameras and all that stuff, but, like, you know, and I think, which I, you know, faith of the whole production team, which is an amazing team and did a great job, you know, all that aside, it's like, at the end of the day, let's make a great record, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, and I told him, like, get the cameras out of the room for a second, let's talk about this, like, let's do a great record. I think we can do something awesome. I think John's thing in the beginning is you know, electronic music, you know, which he is actually very familiar with, more than I thought. Is a lot of times drummers have reservations about doing stuff because it's, you know, but we got incredible tracks out of the drums and did a really cool thing.
Well, also, how many years had it been since really they had come together on a track?
30 years since American Prayer, I believe, yeah.
It's 30
Crazy.
years.
I didn't know that, though, until afterwards. I'm glad I didn't, because I would have like, felt like there was some pressure.
Well, you know, it really feels like from the film that you enjoyed the process and it
Yeah.
was, terrific results.